But you've got to decide what your goal is here. Do you want to do this? Do you believe that you want to help these small business people? Do you want to help them have a better chance to start up their company or to make their company successful? Then if you do, you can make a business out of this. And we can help you make a business out of this. But you have got to go out and really want the passion to help these people get better. And you've got to do what you got to go to your strengths. You got to partner with the people that can help your strengths. And then then you've got to go and put the energy and the passion into it. Let me tell you a story. Sometimes we all try to be something that we aren't. And as a quarterback in football, I wasn't the biggest kid on the block. I was 6 foot tall, 185 pounds, drafted in the third round because they didn't think I was good enough to play quarterback. So I had to be smarter and better, but I wanted to play in the National Football League. And I learned, and I asked questions, and I talked to all the great quarterbacks that were before me and playing with me. I talked to the Lombardis and the Don Shulas and the Tom Landrys, and I asked and I questions, and then I went out and practiced, and I worked. And I then became a coach on the field because I had to make my teammates better. I put in the whole offense. I coached my skill positions, my ends, my tight ends, my running backs, to make sure that I could put all of my education, all of my learning to make them better, because I made them better, we're going to win. I got a call just a week or so ago from Peter King of Sports Illustrated. And Peter King is the NFL writer, and he says, I want to write a story about speed in the NFL when it first started. And when it really first started, I think, was when you came to New York in 1967. You had an inmate by the name of Homer Jones who had never done anything, but he could run. He was fast. And you utilized him and utilized his speed, and he did amazing things in the first year you were there. The year before you came there, Earl Morrall was the quarterback, and they won one game. They were last in the league in offense, last in rushing, last in passing, last in defense. The Washington Redskins beat them 71-0. Homer Jones was sitting on the bench. And yet you came there in 1967. Homer Jones caught 13 touchdown passes in 14 games. I remember Peter King's talking to me. He said, I looked at your first game against the St. Louis Cardinals, now the Arizona Cardinals. And Homer Jones you won 38-34, and Homer Jones caught 5 passes for 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. And next week, you played the Redskins, who had beat the Giants 71-0, and Homer Jones caught balls for 220 yards, caught 7 balls for 220 yards, and 3 touchdowns. What made the difference? And I thought about it. And I hadn't thought about it before. But I remember exactly what made the difference. I came to New York, and I see this guy who was on the bench. Now is in his early 30s, 32, 33. Hadn't utilized, 6'2", big body, 235 pounds, strong as an ox. That year in the Pro Bowl, later in the year, Don Meredith was my friend, and he was a Cowboy quarterback, and we were teammates in this team, and so he had Robert Hayes there, the Olympic champion. You remember the name Robert Hayes, played wide receiver for the Cowboys. And Robert Hayes, I said, Homer Jones can outrun Robert Hayes. Now, Homer Jones weighed 40 pounds more than Robert Hayes. We bet $10. That's all we had back in those days. And Homer Jones blew him away. So he could run, but he couldn't run patterns. And they were all trying to make him do something he couldn't do. He couldn't run a post pattern. He couldn't run a corner pattern. He couldn't run a stop and go. He couldn't give you a double move. All the fancy stuff that you hear about now when you watch the games. So I simplified it for him. He wanted to play, but he couldn't play like traditional wide receiver. I'm going to teach you 3 things, Homer. I want you to run a hitch pass, which means he goes down 5 yards. I said, you look back at me. I don't want you to move. You stay right there. Let everybody else run by you. And when they run by you, he take a hitch pass and turn a 5-yard pass into a 50-yard pass. I taught him just how to run straight up the field. We called it just a go route. And he would run that go route, and I'd go back 7 yards. And if I went back 8 yards and threw it, I couldn't get him. 7 yards, I could get him and hit him in stride. So he didn't just run straight down the field. Use your speed. The other thing, I taught him how to run a slant, run 5 yards down the field and do a 45-degree cut to the middle. And when they were blitzing me, I wanted him to run the slant. I'd call an audible. That's it. That's all I taught him. 13 touchdown passes in 14 games. Pro Bowl, MVP, the whole deal. You got to do what you know how to do. You've got if you've got people on your team, you've got to go to their strengths. But it starts with you, in your heart and soul, wanting to go out and help small business people. I want to help you. I want to help small business people. That's why we've made this product so great, and we'll make it greater and greater and great. And you know, we haven't raised the price one nickel as we make this product great. We make our support to you, the marketing stuff, the Breakfast with Fran, the boot camps that you're doing right here. We can make them, and right, you could be in your living room, in your office, or bring all your team members around. We connect with you all the time because my goal is very simple. I'm here to help you build a business by going out and helping small business people have a better chance for success. And I can really get kind of USA on this thing because we're not going to have job growth in this country without small business people having more tools, more knowledge, because they are the job growth engine in America. And the chairman and CEO of Office Depot understands that. And the head of American Express understands that. And all the big companies understand that. And nobody, they're coming to us for the tools, for the knowledge, because you have that in your hands to be able to go out and build a business of your own by helping the biggest marketplace in America, the small business marketplace. Go do it.